Let's go!
Hey everybody, welcome back to another edition of my vlog. This is number 12. We're going to talk today about binge eating disorder again. And before I talk about what I'm going to talk about today, I want to preface this vlog with just a quick message about my motivations for talking about what I'm going to talk about today. First and foremost, you guys who have commented have been very open and transparent, and I feel that I should be as open and transparent as possible. And I know that some of you guys are watching these vlogs and not participating in the comment section. You haven't emailed me or you haven't reached out to me because you feel ashamed, you feel embarrassed, and you just don't feel comfortable talking about these things openly. And one of the reasons I'm going to talk about what I'm talking about today is because I want you guys to understand that no matter how ashamed you are, no matter how terrible it feels, I want you to know that it's okay to talk about these things, because talking about them makes them feel, it will help. It's very therapeutic. So another thing, I'm not trying to glamorize binge eating whatsoever. I'm not trying to impress you guys with my eating ability. I just want to let you know how fucked up things can get. Today, I'm going to tell you about the worst binge of my life. You ready? Let's go. So here's the stage. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I just wrestled, and I believe the situation was that the hotel that we were supposed to sleep at was kind of like overbooked. So people were having to sleep, like 6 people to a room, 7 people to a room. It was pretty late. I'd been out. I don't think I was drinking that night, but it was pretty late, and we'd been out. So we figured we'll just go to just a couple of us decided just drop us off at the airport early at like 4:30, and we'll sleep on the airport floor. If we're going to sleep at a floor, we might as well sleep at the airport, right? Cut down on that travel time. So now I wanted to go to the airport early because I wanted to binge. That's right. My motivation for going to the airport early was so that I could be alone for a little bit and binge eat. Because at the time, I was going through, I think I had just been dumped by my longtime girlfriend, if I'm not mistaken with the timeline, or whatever. It doesn't really matter. I was fucking depressed, and I was feeling very lonely. Now, you guys might be different, but my biggest trigger was loneliness. Absolutely. That and fatigue. So I was already tired from wrestling. I've had that horrible pit in my stomach from knowing that I was going to return to an empty house. 2 dogs, but you guys know that dogs are no replacement for human beings. They're close. Depending on the human being, they might be better. But in this case, all I could think about was that empty house. And so I got there early. Nothing was open yet. So I just chilled, and I didn't sleep, obviously. I couldn't sleep. I tried to sleep, but all I could think about was eating. And if you guys have ever binged, you know exactly what this feels like. So Aubon Pain, if you guys are familiar with it, it's like a little French bakery type thing. That place opened first, so I went in there and I got like a muffin, some cookies, some other pastries, and I ate them all, and it just smashed me like that. And so I walked back. I was going back to my gate to go because I felt like, oh, that was good. That was enough. But then I walked back to my gate and I saw they had one of those little newsstands right by my gate, and there was some trail mix. So I bought 2 bags of trail mix, and I ate both of those. And I think I went back to Aubon Pain after this and got a muffin. And I remember this very vividly. Two of my friends who got to the airport like around 8-ish, because I spent a good 3 hours binge eating. I'm probably not even remembering some of the stuff I ate. Needless to say, I went hard. It was a lot. I probably cleared 5,000 calories, 6,000 calories in just those couple hours. My friends showed up, and I remember looking down at my shirt as they came into my view, and I looked down at my shirt and I was covered in crumbs. Like, you guys know, if you've ever had a real bad binge, it's like a blackout. It's very similar to blacking out when you're drunk. You just lose your mind. You're not mindful at all. You're out of your mind. So it's the opposite of mindfulness. I looked down, there was crumbs all over my shirt. I remember just being so fucking ashamed and just brushing that shit off as fast as I could, because I didn't want them to know what had happened. I wasn't going to tell them that I just, ate 6,000 calories in an hour. It's just shameful. And this was before I was able to reach out for any kind of help from my friends, and it just wasn't a good situation. So, get on the plane, come back, and guess what? I arrive to an empty house. Now, I'm not gonna blame just loneliness on this bad binge, but it was definitely a contributing factor. I had no one to talk to, no one to do anything with. I was tired. So instead of sleeping or instead of doing something to occupy my time that was productive, I went to the store and I bought lots of food. Now, this is going to sound familiar to a lot of you guys who've dealt with binge eating, but this is how it goes. And I remember being as I checked out with the cookies and the ice cream and more trail mix, I remember just being, and pizza, I think, I remember being so fucking embarrassed. Just ashamed of what I was doing. But for some reason, I just figured I'd already started this. Remember the all or nothing mentality? I'd already started this. I got to keep going. In retrospect, when I think about myself back then, I'm hearing myself tell this story, and I'm like, get a fucking hold of yourself, man. You could have stopped. You could have stopped after the airport. It was easy. You could have stopped after Aubon Pain, but it's not that easy, guys. When you're in that moment, when you lose your mind, when you black out into a binge, it is not as easy as people would like you to believe. The fact that I can think about that now and be so mindful of it is just shows how much I've progressed over the years. So anyways, I come back from the store, and long story short, I eat. My stomach starts to hurt, so I pause. I think I ordered a pizza that night and ate an entire tub of ice cream. I think it was Breyers. Back then, I was a basic bitch when it came to ice cream, so Breyers was good enough. And you know, I felt so awful after that, and I just was like, it was bad, because it was like, not only was I more bloated than I'd ever been in my life, I had distended gut. I still can't believe I didn't vomit. But that just shows you how much I hate vomiting. I will fight the urge to vomit unless it's the only escape. So I would lay in bed. I couldn't sleep. My stomach hurt so bad. And you combine that physical pain with the mental anguish you go through from knowing that you've binged again. And I'd been pretty good up until that point. I think I'd been dieting. And I think I was doing pretty good. And, I was mad at myself. I was ashamed of myself. I was embarrassed. And I was sad because the house, guess what, dude? Guess what? Eric, the house is still empty. You still don't have a girlfriend anymore. It's just you and two pugs. That binge didn't help me at all. And that's what I tell you guys. Binging will not help what you're going through. It will not. You can convince yourself, you can rationalize, you can justify it all you want, but it will not fucking help you feel better. It would only make you feel worse. And as I laid there, that's all I could think about. I don't think I might have slept 4 hours that night. I had to wake up the next day and go to my job at a gym where I was a personal trainer. The irony is sickening. Fucking sickening. But that's why I started making these vlogs. You guys would be surprised how many of us in the fitness industry struggle with eating disorders and disordered eating. It's mind-boggling. And many people don't have the nuts to step up and say they're dealing with it. I know for a fact that I wouldn't have been able to do it in the midst of my binge eating disorder, so I don't blame you guys for not stepping up right now. It's much easier, and I'm honest about this, it's much easier to be open and transparent when you've recovered than it is when you're dealing with the bullshit. But that's what I'm telling you guys right now, is that you need to be open about this stuff, because that helps you on the road to recovery. Now I'm going to leave you with one little more. The binge doesn't sound that bad, right? The way I just explained it, because I'm kind of glossing over a lot of the amount of food I ate. And I'm not trying to impress you guys. This isn't like a badge of honor or anything, but I calculated the calories. It was around 22,000. I ate so much that the next day at my job, at a gym, as a personal trainer, I went to the bathroom probably a good 12 to 15 times to take a dump. I crapped so much that my asshole bled. Now, there aren't many people that can say they've eaten so much that they shit blood, but I can say that. Now, I think it was a combination of the amount of food that I had to get out and the amount of nuts, because when you eat nuts, you guys know, like, they're harder, and maybe my body couldn't keep up with it, maybe it couldn't process it, and I was basically shitting gravel, but that's all I think about is that blood in my stool. And I remember that was the last really bad binge for me before I started going to therapy and getting better. It wasn't my last binge, unfortunately, but you know, natural bodybuilding caused my relapse. That kind of sucked. But that was my worst binge ever, and I always think about that. I don't think I'll ever be able to forget the way I felt afterwards, and it's not cool. You shouldn't be proud of eating like that. There's no sense of pride I get from telling you guys I ate 22,000 calories. I still feel that twinge of shame that I treated myself, not because it's not about what other people thought of me for doing that. It's about that I thought of myself. I thought so little of myself. I thought so little of myself that I would abuse my body in that way. And that makes me sad that I felt like that about myself. And now, as a person who loves themselves, who treats themselves with respect, it's really hard for me to see people going through the same shit I'm going through and abusing themselves and hurting themselves in that way because they don't love themselves, guys. So I'm gonna repeat a lot of things on these vlogs, but you gotta love yourself, you gotta respect yourself, and know that that's not a healthy thing to do. All right, it's just not. So yeah, this kind of turned into a longer rambling thing than I wanted it to be, but it's very emotional to talk about, and I'm hoping that this transparency from me will get some of you guys who have not commented yet to comment, because I want you guys to participate, please. And you know, I want as much conversation as possible, because I think that's very healthy when it comes to a topic like this. So anyways, I'm never going to make a vlog longer than 15 minutes, hopefully, but this one's getting a little bit long. I'm not going to edit it, so it's raw, and it is what it is. So I'm glad you guys, if you watched the whole way through, I'm glad you listened, I'm glad you watched, and as always, I appreciate you. Hit me up in the comments, and until next time, stay strong.
Let's go!